I remember when computers used to be this big. In fact, I still have some. But now they can fit in the palm of your hand. And that's because of companies like Geekom, who I met up with at CES 2025, and they wanted to show me some of the computers they have because these have some really great potential, especially for DIY projects. And I might want to get my hands on one because I have a couple ideas of things that we could use these for. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's go ahead and take a look at Geekom and some of the computers that they have to offer. Now, while at CES 2025, I was surprised at the amount of computers that they had. Now, these things are really small. I do say that they fit in the palm of your hand, and they do. If you take a look at the difference in size comparison, even to this phone, it's amazing to see how small these things are, but they are powerful as well. And they have a wide range of pricing, something that should fit everyone's budget, anything from $200 all the way on up. Now, I put a link down to their Amazon page so you can take a look at their products that are already out. But they did show me 3 of them that will be coming out later this year that really intrigued me. And I want to talk about some of those as well as my experience with them because you did get to game on one of their gaming computers, and I found these to be very interesting. Now, another thing that was really impressive with this is that every one of their new computers I saw included Windows 11 Pro. They also had things like USB 3.2 on them, and they have HDMI 2.0, and most of them had an output for a DisplayPort 1.4 as well, and that was via USB-C. All 3 of the new ones I'm going to show you are upgradable to 64 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM as well, so it's pretty impressive. All of them also have a 2.5 gig LAN Ethernet ports as well. So this should not be the part that lags down your network. You should be fine there as well. The first one that they showed me was the QS1 Pro. Now, the QS1 Pro is the world's first mini computer to be using the X Elite Snapdragon processor. And that's going to be really neat. I'm actually interested to see exactly how well that plans out. Now, this isn't probably for you hardcore gamers. This is going to be more for those of you who want to do office work on it. And they've done quite a few smart things with it. They integrated 4 digital microphones in it. So because of that, you can use your digital assistant, such as Cortana, to be able to ask them to take notes. Or if you're really big into AI, you can do that as well. Of course, the biggest thing for most people that would be doing this for productivity would be using this for like Skype calls or for remote office work, which is pretty nice. But the biggest thing is security. I know for myself, I like to keep my work computer locked up, and I'm sure most of you do as well. So one of the things that they added to this was a biometric power button. That means that you can add a fingerprint or a thumbprint to be able to not only turn on the computer, but also unlock it. So that gives you a lot of safety features that you wouldn't have otherwise. That means that anyone you don't want on your computer, they shouldn't be able to get on. And I really like that. Now, that one was cool. I liked it. But I have really been an Intel guy for quite a while. And so they wanted to show me the IT15. Now, the IT15 uses an Intel 9 processor. So those of you who really like Intel, this is going to be a really big deal for you. Now, of course, it will use an Intel Arc iGPU as well. This is going to be really good, especially I think for content creators like myself. Now, the thing that really impressed me about this is not only did it have the USB 3.2, but it also had 2 USB-C of the 4.0 as well. Now, I'm really interested in the IT15 because of that Intel graphics card. I've heard a lot of good things about these. And I would be really interested to see how well it performs because from a DIY perspective, what I think would be really neat is using these in a couple different ways. One way would be to use it as something like a virtual pinball machine. A lot of people are using these types of things as virtual pinball machines because you have 2 HDMI outputs on it, so you have 2 displays. And something like the A9 Max and the QS1 Pro also have the USB-C that can be changed into a DisplayPort 1.4. So when you think about these are all 4K 60 capable devices, which means that you could have up to 3 displays going. So something like building a virtual pinball machine I think would be really neat. Another thing that would be kind of cool would be, of course, building an old arcade system. You could do that with something like this. Now, another thing that I think would be really cool for those of you who build speakers like me would be using this as a high-end DSP or EQ solution. Brian Zhang has been doing this for many years using just a laptop, and you can do a lot more with your DSP on your computer than you can with a lot of other DSP programs. So something like this that could be very easily to transport from place to place and doesn't take it necessarily a lot of power could be a very powerful device for something like that. Now, the last place that I could see this is a Steam machine. You can put on either a separate hard drive into this. Of course, you could use one of the M.2 slots, or you could use an external hard drive to use this as a dual boot system. So when you didn't want to use Windows 11, you can actually boot up Steam OS. And they have a lot of these now that will work off of Steam OS. And then you could put this in, say, like your theater room, or hook it up to a TV, play your Steam games on there, and I think that would be a lot of fun. Now, a lot of you are going to be wondering what the performance is. Well, the A9 Max is where I think the gamers are going to go, and that's the one that intrigues me the most because that's really what I would want to do with it. That does have an AMD Ryzen AI 9, and it can have up to a Radeon 890M in it. So it could be very powerful. And this could, once again, have up to 3 displays hooked up to it, 2 with the HDMI 2.0, and 1 with the USB-C to DisplayPort 1.4. All of those would be 4K 60 output. So you have the option of doing a lot there. Now, some of you guys are going to ask, how is the gaming performance on it? Well, I actually used the A8 Max, which was the previous version, or the generation before the A9 Max. And they still sell that. You can buy it right on Amazon right now. Unfortunately, the A9 Max you can't buy yet. It will be available later this year, and I'm excited about that. But the A8 you can purchase, and I got to play a lot of games on that. I played on one of the games that I'm very familiar with, which is Forza Horizon, and it felt like I was playing just on the Xbox. It was amazing. Now, they did have it hooked up to 2 different displays. They had it hooked up to a TV, and they had it hooked up to a monitor, and I just had a blast. It was very responsive. I wasn't getting any stuttering that I was noticing, and I was able to control a car just like I would on the Xbox. Now, having said that, when I was playing it, I did check the settings on it, and it was only playing at 1080p. Now, if you're hooking it up to a monitor, that's not a big deal, right? You know, if you hook it up to a big screen, like a projector, and you want to run it in 4K, I don't know what the performance would have been on the A8. Now, the A9 is really interesting to me because it will get a performance boost from the A8. Now, I didn't just play Forza. I also played another game that I'd never played before. They had it hooked up to just a small little portable monitor. And once again, whatever this game was, it was a blast. And I wasn't getting any stuttering, and it looked fantastic. I was very impressed with it. And for something that is so small, it was really impressive to me how powerful it really is. I think there's a lot of things that you could do with these. Now, I'm very curious to know which one of these 3 interests you and why, and what you would do with it. Or is there something that you see on the Amazon store, just click the link below, that really intrigues you? I would like to know that, and tell me what you think you would use it for. And where would you put it? What are your thoughts? All right, guys, tell me what you think about these mini PCs, because I think they're really cool. This is Toid. I'm out.